You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show. The preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. Chris Voss here from thechrisvossshow.com.
Hey.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the big show. We certainly appreciate it. As always, the Chris Voss Show is a family that loves you, doesn't judge you, but quit asking us to loan you money, darn it. It's not that kind of family. Blood is thicker than water. But we do love you guys as long as you're not evil. So we accept you for who you are and whatever thing there, go in peace. So anyway, guys, refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss. Chris Voss on the TikTokity, and all those crazy places on the internet. Today we're going to be talking about with a wonderful young man, Brent Gallant is going to be joining us on the show. He's a cybersecurity expert, entrepreneur, and fitness transformer, helping businesses scale and leaders thrive with 25 years of experience. Welcome to the show, Brett. How are you?
I'm doing great. So glad to be here, Chris. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Pleasure
what a great
to have
intro.
you as well. And I can see in the background of your YouTube video, we're joined by Spock and the Pope. So
yes, the twin powers.
Yeah, they're just
got
hanging
the
out,
logic and the holy.
Some holy water beer or something. I don't know how that works, but I don't know. Does Spock even drink beer? He probably drinks some Vulcan.
I think sometimes he does. He says thumbs up to that, you know. So.
Yeah. I can see Spock when he's not around. He's getting sloshed all the time. He's like, oh my God, I got to put up with that doc, and you know. Anyway, so give us your .coms. Where do you want people to find you on the interwebs?
You find me, connect with me on Instagram, Brett_Gallant. I'm always looking to connect with people and grow my network. And of course, LinkedIn and website, www.adaptiveoffice.ca. And we're launching in first quarter our own podcast, the adaptivemindset.ca.
There you go.
So it's pretty exciting.
Canadian podcast,
That's right.
Of all things, too, eh?
Mindset, eh?
Mindset, eh? Take off, eh? To the great wide north. Anyway, you're founder of Adaptive Office Solutions, a cybersecurity expert, 25 years in IT. Yep. You're on the ever-evolving digital landscape. You're keeping your finger on the pulse. And you also lost 100-pound weight loss. So
yes.
You're doing that as well. I didn't know there was that much weight loss exercise going on in the cybersecurity business. Is that you chasing all the hackers down? Is that how that works?
Pretty much. But you know what I like to do though, in terms of mindset, when I released that, I learned something new in the last month. I released 110 pounds, because when you lose something, you find it.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. It's a thing for the brain. I forget what they call it. It's like a little axiom for the brain to think of it in a different way. That's really smart.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I'm going to keep saying I lost my first 7 ex-wives. Or wait, no, I should say I released them.
You really? So that way you won't find them.
Well,
but my journey with my fitness started back in October 2023. I've been up and down for a while, but my coach at the time, I told him, I said, Dave, I don't have time to go to the gym. And he said, Brett, you mean to tell me you own your own business, you don't have time to go to the gym? And I said some colorful words after that, and he laughed. And then I started on this journey of putting myself first. You got to put the oxygen mask on. And that transformed a lot of things in my life. While getting out hiking, getting to the gym. In fact, after you and I speak, I'm going to go to the gym and pump some iron. Yeah.
You know, I didn't go to the gym for 50 plus years of my life. I mean, I went for like, a week and then I quit. And I think sometimes in my life I paid for years of gym membership and never went. And every now and then I go and like sit in a jacuzzi or something. But finally, about 52, 53, I started going. And, I realized that it's a discipline war with yourself. Doesn't have anything to do with anybody at the gym. Doesn't have anything to do with really even, I mean, it looks good and feels good, to do that, but it's the discipline of it, going and doing the work and building yourself, especially as a man. It's so important. And so I love it now. I go there. I feel weird if I don't go.
It's like a habit. You set
Yeah.
a standard for yourself and you get that habit of every day. That's non-negotiable what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And and then once you get that rhythm going,
Mhm.
it becomes easier and then everything else comes magically. Like for me, I use it as my thinking time and feeding my mind.
Yeah.
So often I'm at the gym, sometimes I'm listening to things related to cyber or items that inspire me, like I call him the GOAT, Jim Rohn and
Oh,
Brian.
Jim Rohn. Yeah.
Yeah, all these guys that just inspire me so to do better. So
Mm.
so
And I don't know if I mentioned in your bio, you're also an author. So you've got a couple books out there with you've contributed to as well. So we got to get that part in
yeah,
there.
yeah. One really that I'm proud of, why your company must have cybersecurity risk assessments,
Hmm.
which is, in my opinion, these days with the threats that are out there in today and growing worse because things have changed. You can't really prescribe without a diagnosis. So having a cybersecurity risk assessment in your business or organization is vital, so you know how to treat the illness.
Mm.
So,
There you go. And
yep,
so let's get into it. Adaptive Office Solutions is your
yep,
company.
yep.
And give us like a 30,000 overview of what you guys do there and how you do it.
Okay. From a high level, we partner with our clients, and we start. It all starts with recognizing that we all have risk,
Hmm.
and there's a silent killer out there, which is the bad guys want our data. So we do a holistic. We interview. We do a discovery call. Interview the stakeholders, and then we start with an engagement, typically to see what's going on in the network. So we put some tools in. We partner with our vendors to analyze what's present and what gaps need to be filled.
Hmm.
Then we present that analysis and make a decision with the client on how they want to proceed and manage their risk. Because after all, it is their risk. And the biggest thing I want people to recognize is, what's your plan?
Mm.
Because we don't. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when something can
Yeah.
happen. So we can't really play Russian roulette anymore with our businesses, which unfortunately we still are, which is sad. So,
Yeah. A lot of people live in kind of their own private, well, I'm a small company, I'm a mid-sized company. They hit the big guys with money and stuff. And that really isn't true anymore, is it?
no, last year I remember a small company came into our office, and I seen the look on their face.
Oh, wow.
It looked like a ghost hit them. They had over $30,000 stolen. There were, two-person operation. They didn't have $30,000 to lose.
Yeah.
They thought it would never happen to them.
Hmm.
I had spoken with them, and unfortunately, something did happen. They
Wow.
didn't have the they didn't have the other layers, the multi-layered approach to cyber to manage that,
Wow.
and they got in. Uh,
Wow.
and it was sad. It was pretty sad. You
So
know,
they just ripped them off. They didn't do the ransomware on them where it's like, give us
well,
four
they did
million.
the ransom.
Oh, they
They
did it
did the
too.
ransom, yeah,
Wow.
and they actually, but they in addition to that, they actually got into the bank and stole the money.
Jeez. Wow. That is,
So it was a double
yeah.
whammy.
Yeah,
Yep.
double whammy. The and then sometimes even if you pay the ransom, you don't always get your money. You don't always get your stuff back, your data. Sometimes they're just like, "Ha, we got both. See ya."
Yeah, well, and they come back at you, hit you again, because 26% of businesses that do get
Really?
get hit again. Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Wow. That's good. That's an important factor to know, because I mean,
yeah.
imagine some people out there like, "Well, we got hit. It won't happen again," and they just get targeted. Why is it they come after them again? You'd think that if you rob someone's house, they're probably going to get better security measures. Maybe that's not true.
Actually, I got the stat wrong, Chris. It was actually 26%. I got the number wrong.
Mm.
26% actually don't do anything after something
Wow.
happens. And I've
Wow.
seen that. I seen an organization recently
Mm-hmm.
here in New Brunswick, in
Mm-hmm.
Canada. That's in the East Coast. They they lost over $200,000.
Jeez. Wow.
Because what happened was the hackers were inside their emails and their network for had to be at least a couple of months. Typically, they're in there for 120 days. So they called the controller, and they knew all the details. They pretended to be the bank. They knew all the details about recent transactions that were going on in the business, and they pretended to be the banks. And they said, "Hey, all I need, I got the owner on the phone with me." They pretended to be the distinguished rep. "I got the owner on the phone with me. I just need the key fob so I can work with them for some financial transactions."
Wow.
Now that was pretty. They unfortunately they fell for that, and they lost a significant amount of money. So,
that is unfortunate. You know, a lot of
yeah.
these are mom and pop style, small to medium businesses. These aren't like mega companies that can be like, hey, go get $20 million off, a local bank, and we'll just, keep rolling with it, or like, who's the big credit repair company or credit company, TransUnion, had a
TransUnion,
massive
yes.
hack,
Yeah.
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 They're not like public companies, these folks that are just, getting hacked. And it's interesting to me that the small people are getting hacked, but I imagine they're the ones who have the less guard down.
They do. Well, they like like we were talking earlier, they just they think it'll never happen to them. And so they go to this island. Someday I'll do something about it. Or I don't think it'll ever happen. So they stay on that island of someday nothing will happen. But unfortunately, the cyber criminals don't care. It's just a numbers game, and they're just launching these attacks through email and websites, and they're hoping for somebody in your organization to click on something, and then they release the payload. And so I have this talk I've done on stage a few times. You can't get hacked in your pajamas because you've already been hacked, because the payload gets released in the evening, and they like look at like here in Canada, a number of organizations had devastating cyber attacks. London Drugs, for example, in Western Canada.
Wasn't me.
The payload was released on the weekend, and when the staff came in, this pharmacy chain, when they came in, all the computers said you have 72 hours to pay, and their computers were locked. So 1 week, no access for these.
Had the time.
Yeah,
wow.
And no prescriptions for a week, and their clients were left confused and frustrated.
It put you out of business. I mean,
reputational damage alone is devastating.
Damage, no one wants to do business with you because you're stupid. I think that's one thing that's hard to overcome. Like, I get so angry at companies that have exposed my password data and my privacy. I'm still angry at Walmart. I don't even know why I shop there anymore. Come to think of it, but I get all those. What's that email site that sends you stuff that when you get pwned?
Have I been pawned? Yeah.
Pawned? Yeah. Pawned. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
So I've been sent to a pawn shop evidently quite a few times by companies. So you sit down with these companies, you give them advice, you give them a workup that says, hey, here's where the holes are in your system. You might want to change your luggage password from 1234 to 12345, things like that.
Yeah, we give them some advice of what we found and show them where the risk is, and we recommend like various different tools. And I'll spare a lot of the technical jumble, but I'll just shed some light on a few. If you're not using multi-factor authentication today on your bank and your email, that's a non-negotiable. And a password management tool. Don't save your passwords on your computer. Using a password management tool is a must. And we use other tools like endpoint detection and a security operations center that sees what the human eye cannot see. And folks, if you be more than happy if you message me, DM me 15 ways, I'll send you 15 ways to prevent a cyber attack. Things like actionable advice that you can, work with us or work with your own team that will give you some tangible items that you can work on that you need to be thinking about that has to be done.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, change my luggage password to 12345.
I like. Well, it's surprising how many times, Chris, that people are reusing the same password. We did a risk assessment recently, and we saw 1,800 password reuses in one organization.
That
And
might have been
so once
mine.
they get once you've been breached, they can go through all the things that you would
Yeah,
guess.
they just hammer
So
them. I've
yeah,
had that done to me. I have two factor authentication. I can't
yeah,
say it, but I have it on all my stuff, and like they'll sit and they'll ping everything. Like I had like really old accounts like Match.com or something that I haven't used in like 10 years or something. Suddenly I was getting pings. Hey, was someone's trying to access your account? Just the other night, I had my Amazon account in the middle of the night. I started getting text messages of, "Hey, here's your here's your login third-party identification code for logging into your Amazon account." And I'm like, "Motherfucker, they got that one too now."
well,
And yeah, I might have to
yeah.
change my password to 1234566.
Well, I highly recommend using the password management tool, but I love this website, use a passphrase.
Hmm.
And what you can do is use four words
Hmm.
that you can remember.
Mhm.
That's what I use generally with two-factor authentication on my password management tool. But when you use a password phrase, that if you actually go to that website, use a
Hmm.
passphrase.com, and you play with a few examples,
Well,
if you do like everybody dances crazy chickens, that password, for example, would be 600 centuries, take 600 centuries to hack, where a lot of people are using these little clever passwords of password with a 0 and a 1 2 3 exclamation. That's
uh,
about 55 seconds to hack. We
wow.
make these little clever I made a really secure password. I made you know uh, chicken four little exclamation point.
Oh,
That's not that secure. So
wow. The
yeah,
and they got it down too. I mean, the thing that I get now is they call. I don't know if this is part of the hacking, but I think it is. They call you, or they'll send me texts, and
yeah,
so like I got 4 this morning from people I have no idea who it is, but they're like, "Hey, how's it going, eh?" Or what was the one?
it was Bob McKenzie.
Yes, we were doing the Bob McKenzie thing before the show. I guess I've kicked it all to spam, so it's over in the spam box. But somebody wrote me this morning at 9 a.m. Is everything okay? It's from a number I don't know. And then what
Yeah,
you do is when you call them, here's one. Hi, this is Jessica from the loan approval department. They've called about 50 times, and I keep spamming their number, and they still call. And of course, when they call, they're like, "Hey, well, we need your social security number, I'm sure, to open up your loan application."
yeah,
Because I'm going to go, "Hey, I'm not doing any loans, eh? What's going on?" And they're going to be
yeah.
like, "Oh, well, give us your social security and your address and your birth date, and then we'll figure it out." And you're like,
Well,
"Okay, sure."
and that's a great example. And if there's another takeaway I want your listeners to realize, it
Hmm.
is even taking a small action of doing cybersecurity awareness training with your team,
Ah,
annual training and regular training, is so critical, because your team would be more likely to spot that. But if you're not educating and making that a part of your everyday culture where we talk about that
hmm,
and building that muscle, flexing that muscle to recognize those scams, uh,
hmm.
unfortunately, a lot of people don't really recognize that. So, like, small bits of education can be your best offense.
Yeah,
So,
because the one guy who clicks on that email, I forget what they call it, an email bait or something. I don't know what the term is.
yeah, phishing. Yeah,
Fishing,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I was close. Bait fishing.
yeah,
There was the famous Hillary Clinton campaign where one of the head guys in the campaign, he got some email. He's like, "Hey, click that link," and he clicked it, and boom, done.
well,
And
that's why, like, having those sensors, the operation center, to see when somebody gets in. We have monitoring on your email tenant,
oh,
the
really?
email, to say that, oh, for example, we have this client in Northern Canada that we saw that the mayor's account was attempted to be accessed 5 times every hour from all across the world, Russia,
Wow.
uh, China, and other countries, even the United States. Uh, and so putting in that monitoring allows you to see, okay, somebody did try to get in, it was blocked, but the
Yeah.
human eye would not see that. So having those layers on is so
Hmm.
important, because you can see when it actually did, something was attempted, or if somebody did get in.
Yeah, and that way you
So
can get on it right away. I think on
yeah,
my like our WordPress, we use WordFence, and
yeah,
they send me like a daily list of everybody who around the world that pings to try and hack the site. It's
yeah,
extraordinary. Like I didn't know I was so popular in Russia and North Korea. Like evidently they really want to get in on the Chris Voss show. Maybe we should invite them sometime.
Yeah, have a good guess.
Have a good chat with the
Yeah.
North Korean leader. How's it going, eh? He's like, are you in Canada? But
Yeah.
Mr. Rocket Man. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. What are the sort of services you provide? I mean, imagine you work with large clients too as well. You maybe oversee some of their security and things.
Yeah, we do. We work with a number of different verticals, pharmacies, municipalities. We have some lawyers and manufacturing seafood plants.
Crazy.
But typically, what we do is we provide the traditional MSP, which is the help desk. Hey, my printer's not working. We do that, but we go much
Have you
further.
tried turning it on and off again?
Oh, that's my number one thing. Like, it's the first answer. Did you restart your computer? Like, did you restart your computer? Did you? But surprisingly, that's the number one thing that does help.
It does. Yeah, it's kind of.
Yeah.
I do that to my mom all the time. She's like, "Yeah, the Wi-Fi is not working. Have you tried restarting the phone?"
I kid you not, just unplugging the power to the router sometimes can fix. That was happened yesterday with one of our cyber clients.
Really?
That they,
Wow.
they were working from home and they couldn't get on the internet, and we asked them a bunch of times, "Can you just unplug the router in your house?" And they didn't do that. But finally, when they, oh, it's working. So, yeah.
Sometimes it's the most simple and obvious answers that are the most.
Well, that's where you got to start in anything in life.
Yeah.
But we do that. We do the cybersecurity awareness training. We do the multi-factor. We offer the password management tool, the security operations center, backup on the email, because a lot of times we live in this bubble where we think, oh yeah, my email's in the cloud, I'll be safe. But what happens if the cyber criminals get in and they delete everything in the cloud and there's no backup? So we back up the email. We back up the cloud. We back up the computer, and then we have quarterly business reviews and just sit down and speak. Hey, what's your strategy? What's your plan? Where are you going in the next three months? So where are you going in the next 6 months? Your computer assets are getting old. Let's have a plan, map that out for the next 2 to 3 years, so you're not stuck scrambling to find out that your IT guy said, hey, you got to replace 7 computers tomorrow.
Yeah.
So yes.
You mean
So
I
it's
should
more
upgrade from Windows Vista?
yeah. Unfortunately, yes, you should, because that's been obsolete for 20 years. My least favorite operating system. Yeah.
What? I'm still running AOL 1.0.
Yeah. I love those discs. Yeah.
There's still probably a bunch that my sister used to collect them, and I don't know. She was holding it. She was a hoarder. She's a good woman, but she had a little bit of a hoarder problem. She got from my father, and so she would keep them all. And there's probably some somewhere. But you never know, man. I mean, the whole internet could go down, and AOL's the only thing that works anymore. You might need it for the nuclear apocalypse.
The zombie apocalypse.
Yeah,
so,
you never
yeah.
know. Could be like the whole secret thing. Wasn't there a movie about this where like the whole world goes down as some like, I don't know.
I saw that on Netflix. I forget the name of it. I was watching it. Yes.
Some 8-bit program on CompuServe still works.
But what they wanted to do though in this episode, I saw the at the very end, all this little girl wanted to do was watch the season finale of Friends, and that's how the movie ended. So,
I mean, priorities.
Yeah, exactly.
Priorities as the zombies are climbing the walls. So you guys service a lot of industries. You guys do cybersecurity, managed IT services, backup and disaster recovery. That's so important. I mean, keeping up multiple backups and stuff. Just the craziness of what can go on. I mean, and if they take your stuff, I mean, it's pretty much hard to replace it. I mean, especially if they take the backups too. You're like, well, we backup stuff. They took the backups too. Oopsie. There you go.
So, and when that happens, often the businesses go out of, can't survive within 6 months. They're gone.
Wow.
And so we treat what we're doing seriously, because we know that sadly in today's world, there's a lot of people that are living paycheck to paycheck. Some people are 2 paychecks away from being homeless sometimes.
I'm homeless now.
Yeah. Well,
I'm down by the river in a van.
Oh, like Chris Farley.
Yeah, it's a Chris Farley Canadian
I
drummer.
love that.
Wasn't he
Yeah.
from Canada? Chris was?
I'm not sure,
I don't know.
but
But John
yeah,
Candy was, so we're close.
John Candy was the
As long as we're in
greatest.
the fat guy genre, I'm a fat guy, so
Yeah.
I think we can connect all the dots there. But
Yeah.
no, and then we mentioned before during the show the loss of reputation. So, I don't, companies aren't going to want to do business with you if their data gets hacked, and a lot of their stuff, their private data, maybe credit cards and maybe bank transfers, depending upon how you're doing business with your clients, that's
Well,
all exposed.
in the United States, which doesn't affect us so much in Canada, but typically Canada does follow, there's the FTC safeguards, and a lot of businesses now in the United States are being mandated to have cybersecurity controls. And what I'm seeing now is the supply chain is asking to our clients and saying, okay, what are you doing to manage your cybersecurity risk? Because we're counting on you to provide this supply of lobsters and so if you get hacked and you don't have anything in place, you're a risk to us. So they're saying you got to, like my grade 1 teacher said to me, you got to pull up your socks and start treating this seriously and put these show me proof that you're putting these systems in place, or else we're not going to do business with you. That is happening now.
Wow. So
So
so this is something that people are vetting you for when they want to do business with you. Wow, there you go.
yeah, now more than ever, and
Change
it's
my
just going to keep
password to
getting
one
like
two
that.
three four five six seven. We're getting complicated here.
Yeah, yeah. Hey Siri.
Hey Siri, hey Siri, change my password. That's probably totally safe too. Telling Siri what you're up to. Yeah. What could go wrong? Jeff Bezos is sitting there writing it down. What was the password again?
Yeah.
He's getting married soon, so he's going to be broke soon once he gets that divorce.
Oh, I
think
didn't
he
realize
gets married
that.
this week. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
Those of you
Wow.
watching the show 10 years from now on YouTube, don't write me. It's December 2024.
Yeah.
They do that all the time. We've been up on YouTube for 18 years, and they go, hey, it's not $99 for that anymore, dummy. It's $10 on Amazon. Yeah, well, that was 10 years ago. That was the iPhone 5, you moron. Anyway,
Yeah.
they love to do that. It's like, I guess it's really hard to check the date on a video.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or, it's iPhone 5. What more do we need to tease out about what you're doing? What are you going to cover on this new podcast you're launching? You're going to talk about, well, you tell me.
Yeah, the adaptive mindset. I'm going to be talking to many different thought leaders and people from all walks of life, and talking about mindset shifts and adapting to change and overcoming limiting beliefs. I'm very much a person who has overcome limiting beliefs, and I've adapted in so many times along my life, and I want to inspire people to make them realize that there's so much potential. I believe that each and every one of us has incredible potential that we don't even realize what we're capable of.
Mm-hmm.
So the 10x version of ourselves is what I'm hoping to inspire people, even with my own transformation with my fitness, where I've released 110 pounds.
Good for you, man.
It's like I post that all the time on social media. I often share my thoughts when I'm hiking in the wilderness, and I talk about what's on my heart. And just something that inspires me, and I want to share that. And I know countless people in my network have reached out to me and said, hey Brett, because of you, I've started taking those steps and going and putting myself a priority, because as an entrepreneur, it's a lonely place, and sometimes we put everybody else first. And
I did that as an entrepreneur too. When I started being an entrepreneur, we were driving courier cars delivering packages. And so I was living at McDonald's, Taco Bell, all the fast food places, because we were 18 hours in a car. And it was not good for me. It put on a lot of weight, and I never have lost it since. But I did lose 100 pounds back in 2016. I started going veganish. I read the book Presto by Penn Jillette. And changing the paradigms of my belief system about food. You mentioned paradigms earlier and belief systems. Changing my paradigms was one of the things that really helped me lose weight, and
Yeah.
it was that, and stop drinking 10 to 15 Mountain Dews a day, half a bottle of vodka, and McDonald's every other meal. So,
But put yourself first, and
yeah,
and that way, what I realized, putting myself first is okay because it gives me more energy after I do that, so I can serve others better. Um,
yeah.
it's interesting you mentioned Penn Jillette. I seen him at a cybersecurity conference. He was
Mm.
there. What a cool guy!
Yeah, he's a really
Like
nice guy.
do you know he's had members in his team for over 30 years?
Yeah, they're like a
What,
family. He's really
exactly.
nice. I reached out to him uh, during my weight loss journey and thanked him twice. And I basically told him, I was on Twitter or something. I said, "Dude, you saved my life. Like
Yeah.
I was probably close to 400 pounds, and probably once when I finally made the change and said I'm not doing this anymore, I was out of breath. I was like
Mhm.
at my health bottom, and I was just like, I either do this or I die, and I'm gonna have a heart attack and keel over, and
That's where I
I
was,
don't want to
Chris. I
feel
was
like that.
349, and now
Wow.
I'm 225.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
120, but it's because of meth. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do meth,
You
kids.
look incredible.
My teeth are shit though.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, no, I'm still in 300. I think I cross. I dance between the twos and the threes.
Yeah.
But learning to eat better, changing those belief systems was everything. And you're right. You can't save it. You've got to put your oxygen mask on first, as they say on the airplane.
And that's why, doing that and
Mm-hmm.
then journey just to educate and serve, and let people know about the importance of cybersecurity is important to me. I don't serve residential anymore, but I've done a few speaking engagements for some seniors when I
Mm-hmm.
came back from a speaking engagement I had in San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
And I spoke to the seniors audience in another city nearby to serve them. And I was so glad I did because I know I impacted a group of 40 seniors that could tell other seniors that you have to be careful
Yeah.
what you're doing and don't. So it's not just about serving business, it's also informing people to realize that this is a risk that needs to be taken seriously, and to recognize what's your plan. The plan is to take action.
Yeah. If you
Yeah.
don't have a plan, you're kind of screwed. Yeah, I've had to teach
Yeah.
my mom all the cybersecurity things. There's been some times. There was one time she got something from the internet company, and I go
Yeah.
over there and look at it, and it was really hard to tell that it was fake. It was
Yeah.
really hard to tell. And most times you can wave over the .com, you can wave over the link, and kind of look at the address. But even then, I couldn't verify it, and it was a really well done email.
Yeah.
But yeah, they used to click on all that stuff. My sister used to click on all those taskbars. Remember when they did the taskbar thing back in the day?
Oh,
And like
yeah.
her whole screen would be like these stacked, cascading taskbars of God knows how many freaking I think I did a spy bot on her computer one time, and it had like 3,000 freaking spy or like hacker bots on it or something.
Oh, yeah. I remember those days of spy bot.
Yeah.
There's one thing I wanted to make sure I shared with your audience today.
Mhm.
And this is critical with the reality of AI today.
Oh yeah.
And you might not even think, you may be thinking where this may go, but it's actually completely different.
Hmm.
I used to say, before you speak to your finance person, say if you get a request to change something financially, changing wire,
Mm-hmm.
I would say jump on a Zoom call
Mm-hmm.
and at least meet face to face.
Mm-hmm.
But now, because of AI, deep fake and everything, people can impersonate you, Chris, or
Wow.
me. And so I'm telling people that you don't change wire transfers now unless you do meet face to face. But
Wow.
also, if you're doing it through Zoom or Teams,
Mm-hmm.
what you want to make sure that the finance person and the president, before you do that, you have a agreed on secret word that you have with each other.
Wow.
Because this has happened in the last 3 months.
Seriously?
Somebody in my network another cybersecurity firm,
Uh-huh.
had a deep fake.
Mm.
and they lost a considerable amount of money because of this.
Holy
So
crap-a-moly.
having that foresight to think about that, I want that message to be heard and understood.
Yeah,
So,
that's.
yeah.
I mean, AI is gonna take things to a whole new crazy level. I can't remember what I think I saw a cybersecurity expert on TikTok or something, and they were talking about how the hacks have accelerated and the speed by which they can, they can check your password and stuff
Well,
has
now they
accelerated. It's
sound like
insane.
they sound really smart. You could used to be able to tell it by the broken English, but now it's even harder to spot it when they're sending you an email. It looks even more realistic.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Thank
Yeah.
God I'm ugly because no one wants to impersonate me. I'm just kidding. It's about anyway. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. Give us your .coms as people go up.
Sure. Website www.adaptiveoffice.ca. Instagram is great. Instagram Brett_Gallant. LinkedIn, you can find me there. I'm the handsome dude. And 15 ways to prevent a cyber attack. If you message me 15 ways, I'd love to send that to you. No strings attached. If you use that and take action, that would mean the world to me. And adaptivemindset.ca. Coming in January. Looking forward to seeing you all.
There you go. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show, Brett. Thanks for on. It's for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss one, the TikTokity, and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.